Good morning, everyone. This is 𝗟𝗧𝗏 from MassMailer. Thank you so much for joining the webinar today. If you have attended my webinar last week, I did go over certain new features that MassMailer has come up with in the upcoming release, which is in fact available. You would be receiving an email sometime soon about a sandbox preview. So I have mentioned that we did enhance our email subscription feature for certain reasons, which is also going to have some new additions as well that most of the customers really wanted. And I'm going to go through in detail about the enhanced email subscription feature in MassMailer. I'm going to take all your questions once I'm done with this quick presentation and a quick demo. But feel free to enter your questions in the Q&A box. So with the new enhancement, what we have done in the unsubscribe in the group unsubscribe feature, first and foremost, it is actually going to help you to avoid any fake unsubscribes. Also, it means any bot unsubscribes. And if you are aware how the bot software works in the industry, nowadays organizations have a higher security control where they would try to scan every single email that comes into their organization and click and open certain links. And if you have an unsubscribe link, potentially if the receiving organization has higher security controls in place, they may end up clicking certain links such as unsubscribe, and it may become a bot event or a fake event. We have had a feature through which we were identifying certain bot events and try to purge them. But at the same time, we really needed a feature in which it would completely avoid any bot or fake unsubscribes. And that's what we have done in the latest release. So how do we do that? When a recipient actually receives the email, they would have to authenticate themselves, meaning they have to enter their email address, and also they have to enter reCAPTCHA, kind of two-step process there, again, just in one page, so that they basically can identify themselves and unsubscribe from a specific group or completely from all the emails. What it means, this would basically avoid any bot software acting on your unsubscribe page, and they won't be able to do this, or rather do multiple clicks, and you can completely avoid any bot or fake unsubscribes. That's the fundamental design that we followed, and it should work fine. And you also have an ability to add a custom header and a footer on these unsubscribe pages, which was not there earlier. What it means, you can also add logos or any kind of a small HTML snippet that you could add to the header and a footer that would basically personalize your the unsubscribe page as per your organization needs. And then when it comes to displaying the group unsubscribes, we basically have been displaying that as a list view, if you notice that, or if you ever use that feature. We also added a tile view, which means you can upload images for each one of the groups to make it easy for your recipients. Visually, it'll appear nicely, and they can click unsubscribe from any of the groups. And you have ability to enable, disable reCAPTCHA if you think that you do not want it, but that also should avoid any fake unsubscribes or bot unsubscribes. But that's something that we would leave it on you. By default, we enable it, but you are free to disable it if you want it. That's again in the settings. I would go through a few screenshots before I actually get into a demo. And also, again, if you ever used the group unsubscribe feature or unsubscribe feature where you had to custom position those links, you have to add some HTML snippet into your the email template. If you ever done that, I'm sure this could be very familiar for you. If you have not done that, that's okay. This is just a small snippet of code that you could actually add into your email template wherever you wanted to place those links, and whatever way you want this link to appear, like a text, what text you really want to display. That's something that you could actually control. I'm going to demonstrate that in one of the templates today. This is just a screenshot where you could actually control certain things. As you can see, you have an option to display the unsubscribed groups, list view, tile view. You can also have the header and a footer for global unsubscribe, group unsubscribe, and the rest of them, the four, that is unsubscribed content, those are standard for the global unsubscribe and the custom landing page and unsubscribe landing page HTML. Those four were there before. We basically added the header and a footer section. That's like four of them, two each, two for global unsubscribe and then two for group unsubscribe, and the tile view. You would see this in the settings under subscription tracking under MassMailer setup. There are a couple of more that I'm going to show it to you, but these are the main ones. And this is how the group unsubscribe page would appear. You should be able to even control the way it appears, meaning like the actual color of these headers and the buttons and everything. That's something that you should be able to control as well. But we have come up with some default ones as per our guidelines. Currently what we have come up with some default color fonts and stuff like that, but that's something that could be controlled again through some scripts, HTML script, I mean. And this is opt-in, opt-out preferences page if you're using any groups. This is how it appears. This is again standard, but you can notice that the email field and the reCAPTCHA field, these are extra fields that we added, as you can notice. And this is a tile view. If you just want to compare, this is just a list view, and this is a tile view. So this is much more appealing. Again, if you just want to upload any images, but those images you have to host it somewhere. Wherever you want to host it, make sure those are PNGs and like nice looking images with the size and everything. And they would appear here. That would make more sense for the recipients. If you really want to utilize, you just have to give the URL for those logos. Now, again, I'm going to show it to you how it actually looks. You can notice the email and the CAPTCHA there. And this is just to show you how to custom position the unsubscribe links. If you are aware of the email template, the builder, what MassMailer provides, you could add a content item that's HTML type, and then you can add this tiny snippet that you see there to have those custom links. If you notice, all of them are having href, so you can very much just like change the text for each of those links, and that would change the actual text, how it appears. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. You could also, remove any of them if you do not want. Not all of them are necessary, so you can remove definitely any of them that you do not want. But there's I think one that we added that's extra. That's ASM all preferences raw URL. Again, you don't have to have that, but that's something that we added. And this is how it appears when somebody receives that email. As you can see, the links are at the bottom of the page, the bottom of the email template. Okay, so let me go back to the demo instance real quick. Okay, so to start with, I would show you where you can actually do the settings. It's not too technical, so you should be able to understand. If you're an admin, you should be having access to this MassMailer setup page. So if you go to tracking settings under MassMailer setup, there's a section where you can see the subscription tracking settings. That's where you're actually gonna make any changes. So we are auto-populating. I mean, we don't auto-populate the email address on these pages, so that's kind of turned off. But if you ever wanted this feature, that's something that we can add, but that may, again, you may or may not be able to prevent that fake unsubscribes if you enable this. That's the reason why we added this extra. And then you can always hide CAPTCHA. That's something that you could do. We have the list view or tile view options. So the default is a list view. And we have the header and just a tiny snippet that just displays like an image, and that's pretty much it. And then some footer as well. This is for the group unsubscribe header, again for footer. And then we have a couple of more options there. These are like from the previous versions, nothing new. And then here you can see the email preference groups. I may not want to go in detail about this at this time, but I actually want to get into a quick demo. But I would like to show you the email preferences that we created. So the example ones for the marketing department, we have 3 options there. And then for the sales department, we have 2 options. I just want to show it to you that we created these email preference groups, and then we have the unsubscribe groups as well, as you can see. So I'm going to use these as an example. And if you notice, for each one of these groups, there is a URL, like a logo URL. I'm just going to show it to you what it is. For an example, this is one of the logos or one of the images. Everything will be clear when I actually kind of run a quick demo here. So basically, you can create email preferences and then groups below that. That's how you define that. Now, if you actually want to, now see a demo, how it actually appears. I'm going to go send an email to contacts. So I have a list view here. And now I'm going to go send an email using send via MassMailer. There are a few steps that you have to follow here. Again, assuming that you're very familiar with MassMailer, I would just quickly go through all of this. So we're going to go to the next step. And I'm going to go select a template in the next step. So for an example, I have this with the unsubscribe demo. And this has no custom positioning of the links. So you can see that there are no links that I've added. This is without the links. So what it means, by default, MassMailer is going to add those links. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Go to the next page. Next page again. Next page again. So here, I'm going to go select marketing department, the preference groups, and then one of the options there, I would just select marketing. Then next. So this is just a final view page. So I'm going to go launch this. All right, so the email has been sent. This is the subject. Okay. So I just received this email. As you can see, the links are added at the bottom of the page. As you can see, they are not aligned the way they're supposed to be. So that's the reason why we always say that you should custom position though. And then I would just go click on one of these links, manage email preferences. Now you can see that we have the manage email preferences option, and it's showing 3 options there. And again, I actually want to unsubscribe my email, and this is actually coming to this email address. I'm gonna go here, enter my email address, and now I actually want to opt out, say from newsletter. I have to enter this 6V3, and I've unsubscribed myself. And then now if I go to the update preferences, it actually shows that I unsubscribed myself. And the user also have an option to opt out of all emails if they want to. So they can always click on this. That will take them to opt out of all emails page, where they can actually opt out completely. And then unsubscribe. They never mind. It's actually just trying to redirect me to a different page because I have enabled a redirect here, custom landing page. You don't have to do that. This is just an example that I want to show. That if somebody unsubscribes, you can actually navigate them to a different page. And if you do not want to do that, you can just remove this and save this option. So user doesn't go to a different page. They will still stay in that unsubscribe page, which typically would make sense, but it's all up to you. Now I'm going to go back here. I would just go click on this manage email preferences page once again, just to show it to you. Okay. And again, by default, it doesn't give any email address. So you have to really, the end recipient will have to enter their email address. Then they would know, okay, which ones they opted in, which one they opted out. Everything is shown here, as you can see. Newsletter was opt out, and that's why it's showing. And if they want to change anything, they can always change it. That's how it works. And then if you see this option, unsubscribe from this group. So if you click on that, or the user clicks on that, that actually would take them to a page where they can actually unsubscribe only from that particular group and nothing else. Again, we are giving this opt-out of all emails. Again, the feedback that we got, some clients may not want to see this option when they're using groups. That's something that can be set behind the scenes. We're going to add that as a control. That way you can actually not display this as well. If we are looking for feedback from our clients. And again, if you're once you start using it, I'm sure you'll have a lot of questions, and we welcome your feedback. And I want to show it to you that this is the header and the footer that we added. And again, I'm going to take you back here. So this is just displaying like a small image, which is nothing but the logo. And this is the footer, what this page is displaying. That's exactly what you see. This is the footer, and this is the header. And then now you can also have this manage all preferences option enabled or disabled. Again, if you use the custom positioning, the URLs, then you can actually see this. Then now the difference is you can see that we have two email preference groups there, and we display all of them. We felt that it is sometimes for a company, if they want to display everything, this is the right approach where they can actually have all preferences to be displayed for a single company. That's possible to do this, right? And those are the three options what you have. And then now I want to show it to you how custom positioning can be enabled. I would like to show you the actual template before we do a quick demo. So this is with custom positioning those unsubscribed links. You can see that the template itself has these links. And if you actually want to change this, right? So if you want to change this unsubscribe, I'm just going to change to my, so that it's simple enough. So you can always change how this appears. And if you don't want this, for example, you can always delete this, and you don't have to have that option at all. And if you want to change the font, you can add those, tiny class attributes or whatever you call that as in HTML. And that way, it actually, looks as if it's the same font and the size and everything. That's something that you could always control, right? And this can be a simple, like a statement as well. If you just want to say, hey, please click here to unsubscribe from this group, you can always type in all of that. It doesn't need to be exactly the way it is showing here. This is just an example. You can change this the way you want it with whatever content, however you want this to be displayed as. That's up to you. So make those changes and then save to Salesforce. And that's pretty much what you have to do. And we have articles that that would actually explain how this works. So you should be able to figure this out quite easily. And I'm just going to go show you quickly the difference. I'm going to run this once again. Send via MassMailer. Custom position links. I'm going to go save this template. Next step. Next step here. And again, I'm going to go select unsubscribe, group unsubscribe options. Going to launch it. Okay. Again, I'm going to go check the email with that subject. Okay. So now you can see that it has that my thing because I added them manually. And if you notice the difference, by default, if you did not have that, then these are left aligned, but you would want to really custom position if you're, especially if you're using the HTML-based templates, you definitely want to have them aligned properly. And that's how you do it. And again, the functionality is the same. It's not that it's different. If you click on that, it would just take you to that particular page, and the rest of it is all the same. It's just the custom positioning is where the difference is. Okay. I'm happy to take any questions here. Okay, so if you're using any other solution, like have a question or a comment from Carlos saying that they're using another solution as well, and they want to combine this with other email solution that they use called 𝗤𝗏, which is fine. However you want to do it, because all the data is actually stored right within Salesforce. And I'm not really sure how it actually looks in Salesforce. So once you unsubscribe, it actually goes to MassMailer suppressions. So I'm going to go show you all the suppressions in MassMailer. So we capture these events, either unsubscribe event, or it is a group unsubscribe event. Everything gets captured here. So for an example, this is global unsubscribe event. Remember, I did that. So I would go to this particular contact, and this is a contact view. Two things that you would notice: there is a suppression event. One of them is a group unsubscribe. Other one is the actual global unsubscribe. And if you go to the details page, you can see that email opt-out is flagged to true. And if you ever wanted to take them out, there are two options, or multiple options. Simplest is just come here, take them out, meaning uncheck that email opt-out. That way, they actually are subscribed to all the emails except one group unsubscribe that they still have. So if you actually want them to be away out of this as well, you can remove this, and that would also take them out of that MassMailer suppressions. So basically, not that you have to do it for every single customer. If somebody says that, hey, I want you to help me, you can always manually help them to do this. But otherwise, clients will, the recipients would have ability to unsubscribe and resubscribe themselves from all the emails that you're sending out to them. That's quite straightforward, and I'm sure most of you are familiar with this particular feature. So anyone having questions, I'm happy to clarify. Just put your question in the Q&A box. Any more questions, anyone? Okay. Seems like no more questions. And again, this is a weekly webinar. And I'm happy to clarify any, seems like there's another question. Let me take a look. Sorry about that. Okay, what's the difference between manage all preferences and manage all email preferences? So just went over that, but I'm gonna go through that once again. Manage email preferences will display only one preference, one set of preference groups. Assuming you have multiple departments in your organization, everybody is using MassMailer, and they want to have their own departmental email preferences. So each department can create their own email preferences. And when they're actually sending out an email, perhaps they want only the groups related to that particular department to be shown. And that's what this manage email preferences is. But unsubscribe from, not this one. I would actually go manage all email preferences, meaning if you have multiple departments in a company, for example, sales and marketing, and everyone have their own set of groups or categories that they have defined under their preference. And now if you want to display all of them, because maybe you're sending out a communication organization-wide and you want your recipients to check or uncheck or subscribe, unsubscribe from all the departments in one go, then you can actually use this feature where it says manage all email preferences, for the entire company. For lack of a better term, we just mentioned all to keep it simple, but that's the fundamental difference. And if I take you back to the MassMailer setup page, you can now see, or you can correlate this to what you defined under tracking settings. Subscription tracking settings. And then right below email preference groups, we have sales department and the marketing department. There's default email preference groups that just like a placeholder. We always want you to define your own, like by clicking on this plus. So if I expand this, the sales department is 2, and then the marketing department is 3. And if you want to add one more, all you have to do is click on this and just say, I don't know, product updates or something on those lines, right? You can add a logo here. If you do not add a logo URL, we're going to display the default image, whatever we have, and that's what it's displayed. But we want you to actually add a logo. Whenever you're actually using a tile view versus list view, you should have a logo. Otherwise, it would just display a default logo. And you can also control this by list view versus tile view. List view is this. And again, whatever changes that you're making, make sure that you click on the save button and then save this option, right? And that's going to change. And if I go back here, manage email preferences, if I click on that, that would actually display like a list view. And again, it is displaying for one department, as you can see, versus manage all email preferences. It's going to display for all the departments. Okay, that's again a list view, not a tile view. Okay, so that's the main difference between these two. And again, you can control. You don't have to have all of them. As I mentioned that back in that email template builder, where you can actually remove that tiny snippet, the HTML snippet that you have. Okay. I hope that answered your question. There's one more question from Holly. We would like people to be able to update their group preferences through our SF portal. We have checkboxes there that correspond to checkboxes on the contact record. What is a good way to sync this information with unsubscribed groups in MassMailer? So you can very well do that if you want to run that by the SF portal. What you have to do, anytime you are updating the contact record with that specific field that denotes that they subscribed, unsubscribed, or subscribed to a specific group, you have to create a flow that's actually creating MassMailer suppression record in Salesforce with the appropriate group name and group ID. You just have to create a record using flows. And again, I would show you how this would look like. So you basically would create a record, MassMailer suppression record using your flow. And that should have all this information, such as what contact it is related to, what is the event time, what is the subscription type, and also you have to populate the group information if it is related to a group. It's not displayed on this page layout, but if it's a particular group, then you have to give the group name, and this becomes group unsubscribe, but not unsubscribe. And group name should be good, and you should relate that to that group. So we can certainly work with you offline. If you have any question, just raise a support ticket to support@massmailer.io. We also support you with some advanced professional services work if needed. We can certainly create that flow. That's something that we can help you with. Any other questions, anyone? Okay. It's like no more questions. Once again, thank you so much for joining this webinar. And I plan to, again, do this webinar series till we go through all the features in the new release. You would be seeing an email sometime soon about the sandbox preview, because we have all the documents ready that you can go through. And if you want to upgrade yourself only in sandbox for now, you can do that. And if you do not have sandbox plan for MassMailer, just shoot an email to support@massmailer.io. We can help you with that. And if you are new to MassMailer, you can always get on a trial. The trial link is on our website. We provide a 15-day free trial. And again, I would like to see you again next week. Thank you so much. Have a great day, great evening, and have a good weekend as well. Thank you. Take care.